I don't know. I'd say I'm reasonable.
Okay, that's completely unreasonable.
I'm reasonable.
I'm unreasonable.
You have no idea just how reasonable I have been.
Reasonable synonyms are sensible, rational, practical, fair, appropriate.
Fitting, suitable, logical.
All things I would definitely say describe me.
Do they describe you?
Welcome to I'm Reasonable with Zainab Johnson.
I'm reasonable.
What is up? What is up? What is going on, everybody? What is up? Welcome to another episode of I'm Reasonable with Zainab Johnson. I am Zainab Johnson. How you guys doing? Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode. On a scale from Fox News to Associated Press, how reasonable have we been this week? Ooh, all right. So, today we are talking about, what are we talking about today? Okay, today we are talking Luigi Mangione, the person of interest in the United Healthcare CEO killing in Manhattan. We are talking Jamie Foxx's new Netflix special. We are talking Jay-Z being named in Diddy's civil suit as an alleged attacker. And on Ask Z, a husband plans a birthday dinner for his wife at a place that she don't want to go. But before we get into all of that, let's talk about my shows. Thank you so much to everybody that came and see me in Austin, Texas at Cap City in Austin. Also, thank you everybody that came to see me at the Riot in Houston. I was in Houston this past weekend and you guys sold out my show. So thank you very much. Somebody actually came up, a few of you guys actually came up to me and was like, and I watch I'm Reasonable every week and I love it and thank you. And one person was like, hey, I actually have never seen your stand up, but I do watch I'm Reasonable. And I saw that you would be in Houston this weekend because of I'm Reasonable. So make sure that you keep letting everybody know your dates at the top of each episode because it works, because I'm here. So thank you so much for letting me know that. So let's get into where I am next. Before I get there though, actually, anybody who watches this show and came out to the any of my shows, actually, you know that most times, like more often than most times, only time it ever does not happen is if it is not possible, either for scheduling reasons or the venue doesn't allow it. I always say hi after. Always say hi after. I talk to you guys. I shake your hands. I hug you. I take pictures. I take multiple pictures. I'll be like, make sure you like the picture, right? I'll try and help you guys get the lighting right, et cetera, et cetera. Well, there was one show in Paris that I was unable to do that just because of the scheduling, and I felt really bad about that. And when I felt so bad about that, that's how it was going to be for all of the Paris shows. But I felt so bad about that. I made sure that the producers of the show were able to accommodate, a meet and greet after every show after the first one. Also in Houston, I did meet and greets after every show. But the last show, which was late night on Saturday, I had a problem with the venue. I had a problem. So I was at the Riot Comedy Club, and the Riot Comedy Club is upstairs. And the people who are associated with the Riot were like, hey, just so you know, we have nothing to do with the venue downstairs. The bar is a completely separate ownership. Our club is actually inside the building and we lease that space from the owners. And so that person who was rude to you and your guest, they are not employed by us. So late show Saturday night, there was a security guard who checks everybody in to get into the venue, right? I was doing a meet and greet and he was rude. He was so rude that he actually made it impossible for me to do. I got to meet and maybe take pictures with like 4 people after the show. And then it was shut down. And here's the thing. I know that the venue is saying we don't got nothing to do with that. But Friday night, they asked me, they was like, hey, are you trying to do a meet and greet? And I was like, absolutely. And they set it up outside. Now in Houston this past weekend, it was not only cold, but it was raining. So how am I supposed to do a meet and greet outside? So after that Friday night show, I went back to the employees of the Riot Comedy Club and I said, hey, tomorrow, is it possible for you to set up a meet and greet inside? They told me yes. So my expectation when I came in to do the Saturday shows, there will be a specific place set up inside the venue for me to do the meet and greet. I also thought that would be okay because they asked me. They asked me again on Saturday, hey, are you doing a meet and greet? I tell everybody that I'm doing a meet and greet. The host comes up on the stage after I get off the stage and tells the audience, hey, she's doing a free meet and greet. So when I get downstairs to see where is it set up for me to do a meet and greet, the table is still outside. So I did not go outside. First show, no problem. Second show, security goes bonkers. He goes bonkers. He's rude. He's disrespectful. His name was Richard, I believe. And so if you were at that show and you want to complain, feel free. His name is Richard. He was about 5'8", I think, plus size man, long hair. I don't know his ethnic makeup, but he looked like us. He could be black and Mexican. He could just be Mexican. He could be American Samoan. I don't know, but I'm just giving you guys a description. He was nasty and rude and not interested in finding a solution at all. And so if you did come to the show and you had a really good time and then you were disappointed that you weren't able to like meet me and talk to me and take a picture with me after, I apologize, but it's on him. It's on him and that venue, so talk to them. I am done with stand-up for the year. I am done with stand-up for the year. If you live in or around LA or you're visiting, you might get lucky. I might pop into like the Comedy Store, the Laugh Factory, the Improv. I might pop into a LA venue in between now and the end of this year. I don't know. I'm not promising. It might happen. I have one show. I have one show left in 2025. That show is at the San Jose Improv. San Jose Improv in San Jose, California. That is the last show that is on my schedule to do. So Houston, it was y'all, and then it's San Jose, December 31st. In 2025, you guys can see me. You can see me in Seattle, Washington, January 3rd and 4th. You can see me in Raleigh, North Carolina, January 9th. You can see me in Charlotte, North Carolina, January 10th and 11th. You can see me in Washington, D.C., January 16th through the 18th. You guys can see me in Pittsburgh, PA, February 6th through the 8th. Then in Chicago, February 21st through the 23rd. You guys can see me in Tempe, Arizona for one night only, March 8th, Tempe, Arizona. Then you guys can see me April 11th and 12th in Toronto, Canada, April 11th and 12th. April 13th, you can see me in Portland, Maine. Okay, it'll be my first time in Portland, Maine. As I said last week, I didn't even know there was a Portland, Maine. I thought there was only a Portland, Oregon, which is where I am right now. I am actually here doing a story on the Moth Storytelling Show. But again, that's April 13th. You guys can see me in Portland, Maine. May 2nd through the 4th, you can see me in Arlington, Texas. And then June 19th through the 21st, I'll be in Baltimore. And then all the way in December, this date is already on my calendar, December 5th through the 7th, I will be in Addison, Texas. Of course, I'm going to be adding so many more 2025 dates, okay? I hear you guys. I see you guys. Drop those cities in the comments. Say, hey, Zainab, do you know, consider coming here. I, of course, there will be New York City dates. There will be Philly dates. There will be Florida dates. There will be more Bay Area. There will be a lot of dates. But there will be more international dates. So just stay tuned. The details, the link rather to tickets for my shows, for all of my live shows, are in the details of this podcast. So go ahead and look at those dates below and click on the link and get those tickets before they sell out. Okay. Also, while I have you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and hit that subscribe to this podcast. Give it a thumbs up. Give it a like, a share, etc., etc. Okay, let's get into what's up with Z. What's up with me? I went and saw Wicked while I was in Houston. During the day, I saw Wicked with my friend Aisha and her friends. And I saw Wicked the musical. I saw it in London. I believe I saw it in 2000, around 2007, 2008. I saw it, and I was studying in London. I was doing a summer intensive in London. And I went and saw Wicked, and it was at the time the best thing I had ever seen in my life. Growing up, had a fear of the dark, and I had a very deep fear of witches. And I think that it all had to do with me seeing The Wizard of Oz as a kid. I saw The Wiz also when I was young, and I remember loving that, and I remember not being as scared of witches. But I remember when I was a kid, I used to see that green witch on that bike and on that broom, and I think that I saw The Wizard of Oz too early, and it gave me an intense fear of witches, and witches looking a very specific way. And I remember when I went to see Wicked in London, I remember two things. One, no longer being afraid of witches, or, a green witch on a broom. And I remember that intermission. I remember when she sang, when the actress sang Defying Gravity, and then the curtains come up for intermission, I remember not wanting to leave my seat. I remember not wanting it to end. I remember thinking, like, whenever I've seen theater in London, as I told you guys, I saw Devil Wears Prada. When I've seen any Broadway shows, and I be looking for the intermission. It don't matter how good they are. They're pretty long. So I'll be looking for the intermission. I got to get a snack so I could, I got to get some sugar to keep me going. I got to use the bathroom. When that intermission came for Wicked, I did not need it. I said, let's keep it going. I'm here, ready. What's up? I'm loving this. Don't stop. Don't stop. Keep going. So this past weekend, I saw the movie starring Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande and Michelle Wu, and I believe that's Michelle's last name, right? I hope that I didn't get that wrong. My mom loved, that's one of my mom's favorite actresses. My mom called me however many years ago when Everything Everywhere All at Once. That might not be the correct title, but when that came out, my mom called me and was like, Zainab, I've already seen it 4 times. My favorite actress. She's so amazing. You have to see it. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, how you don't even know something about your parent? I was like, Mom, I did not know that you was into her so much, but I'm happy. I'm happy that you enjoying something so much. And then I went and saw it, and I enjoyed it. But the movie, it was starring her. Jeff Goldblum plays the Oz. And then it has like other actors, and I loved it. It is a musical in the sense that, like, it's a little too much music for me. Certain songs are really catchy and I could get on board with it, and certain stuff. There was one song where I took a deep breath. Aisha looked at me and said, uh-oh, they better get to Defying Gravity quick, because Zainab, I think it's been one song too many. And I felt so bad, because not so bad, but I became aware of myself, because when you go to see things with other people, their experience can affect your experience. So when I realized, like, I had an audible sigh, an audible deep breath, and my friend was very much aware of it. I was like, okay, let me be mindful, because I don't want my sensibility to, affect her experience of the movie. Anyway, I thought it was perfect that they ended it at the intermission. They ended right after Defying Gravity. I will say this, because I recognize that people seeing the movie have never seen the musical, the live show, and so they're on the edge of their seat. I know what's coming, but they're on the edge of their seat. But I will say this: first role that I have loved, Cynthia Erivo. I thought she looked the most beautiful that she's ever looked. And I don't know what that means, because she was covered in all green. I don't even say that to be funny. But I just was watching her on camera, and I thought, what are they talking about? I don't care that she green. She is emanating beauty. her essence was seen on that film. Ariana Grande did very well. She actually did extremely well. However, Galinda's character, her lines are actually written to be very funny. And while that's my only critique, it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. I'm gonna say that it's phenomenal. But if I had one critique, I felt like Ariana Grande was doing a really good job of the performance, but I don't think she was being Galinda. Like once she got to like the dramatic stuff, yeah, it was like, oh, she's being. Like towards the end of the movie, I was like, oh yeah, she, but at first it was like, some people are like chuckling because the lines are actually written to be funny, and this character is ridiculous. This character is so vain and so shallow, and so it's just ridiculous. So you go and chuckle, but those lines were almost every one of her lines, they're punchlines. So if people ain't in the theater cracking up laughing, whatever, it don't matter. Cynthia Erivo. But I will say to Ariana Grande, impressive. Still very impressive. Still very, very impressive. Cynthia Erivo, though. I know everybody was trying to talk about her tweets. I don't know nothing about her tweets. Apparently she had said in some way about Black American, whatever. I don't know. I want to acknowledge that I know that that's the conversation that's happening online. Cynthia Erivo was pure perfection in Wicked. Pure perfection in Wicked. Pure perfection in Wicked. And as I was watching it, I was like, wow, it must be hard to play a part that the actual content of the part that you're playing speaks to the world not desiring you, and also desiring you based on your aesthetic. And also in real life, you come across conversations that are not kind to your aesthetic. It's one thing to be an actor and you're playing a part that is, and you put on some aesthetic, right? Like Charlize Theron in Monster, right? It's like Charlize Theron is a celebrated beauty. She is a celebrated beauty, So for her to quote unquote ugly herself up for a role and then be celebrated for that, and then to be able to step back out and emerge as this beautiful swan, that's one thing. I'm not saying that's easy, but that's an easier road in my opinion. But somebody who is constantly faced with the narrative that they are not the ideal aesthetic, and then to have to play a part that leans into that, I just imagine is very difficult. But we must celebrate Cynthia Erivo in this role. We must. She was effortless. She was effortless in this role in a way that I don't care how good all of the other performances was. No one made me feel the way Cynthia Erivo made me feel every single time she was on camera on this role. And let me just tell you something. I'm not a Cynthia Erivo fan. I don't dislike her as a person. I don't know her as a person. I never met her. I have people very close to me who are very close to her. They say she's lovely. I don't know. I don't even care, actually. I have seen her live at the Hollywood Bowl. She sang her original music. Didn't need it at all. Did not need it at all. I saw Color Purple the musical, but I saw the original Color Purple the musical before Cynthia Erivo was cast, before Fantasia was cast. I saw the original Broadway production. So I didn't get to see her in the thing that introduced her to the world, right? I saw her play I saw her play Harriet Tubman, and I feel like I was very kind in my review of that film. I was very kind. I saw her play in that robbing movie with Viola Davis. Okay. I saw her in Casino Royale, and I can't remember nothing that she did in that movie except she sang a cappella what was Diana? The Supreme. I need love, love to ease my, right? She sang that a cappella, and that was the thing that introduced Cynthia Erivo to me. And I played that little clip of her singing that song over and over and over and over, and I loved it. But I don't remember none of she don't really resonate with me, the acting choices that she has taken on until Wicked. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's what's up with Z. I look forward to the part 2 of that. I very much look forward to the part 2 of that. Okay, let's get into these main stories. First of all, a rest in peace to Nikki Giovanni, poet Nikki Giovanni. She passed away. Nikki Giovanni, I feel like the clip that is most viral from Nikki Giovanni is when she's in a conversation with James Baldwin. It's when she's much younger, and she says, lie to me, when he says, I can't lie to you. I can't lie to you. And he's speaking about like the black man and the black woman. That's the conversation that they're having. And he's like, I can't lie to the black woman. And she's like, why? You lie to everybody else. Why must I get all your grief? Why must I get the truth of your despair? Lie to me too. He's like, yeah, you lie to the white man every day when you go to his job, right? I love that clip. Here's the clip.
Everybody's jiving, but let's jive on that level.
If I love you, I can't lie to you.
Of course you can lie to me, and you will. If you love me and you're going off with Maddie someplace, you're lying to me. Because what the hell do I care about the truth? I care if you're there. What Billie Holiday say, hush now, don't explain.
All right, I accept that.
Of course you'll lie to me, because I don't even want to care. What does the truth matter? And why are you going to be truthful with me when you lie to everybody else? You lied when you smiled at that cracker down the job, right? Lie to me, smile. Treat me the same way you would treat him.
I can't treat you the way I treat him.
You must. Because I've caught the frowns and the anger. He's happy with you. Of course he doesn't know you're unhappy. You grin at him all day long. You come on when I catch hell. Because I love you, I get least of you. I get the very minimum. And I'm saying, fake it with me. Is that too much of the black woman to ask of the black man?
Rest in peace to Nikki Giovanni. Okay. Now, the main stories. Jamie Foxx's special. Jamie Foxx has a new special on Netflix. They're calling it a comedy special, but that's unreasonable. And I love Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx has a new special. It is special. Comedy, I don't know, but it is special. It's called What Had Happened Was. I think that's what it's called. What Had Happened Was, produced by T.D. Jakes. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys because it just came out. But as I said, Jamie Foxx, whom I love and whom I believe is supremely talented, supremely funny, has a new special out on Netflix called What Had Happened Was, produced by Kirk Franklin. It came out this past Tuesday, but it should come out on Sunday. I am not going to spoil it for you guys, but I did appreciate the emotion of it all. I did appreciate the testimony. Absolutely. If you know anything about my life, I appreciated all of that, but where was the funny? Okay, whatever. This is what I will say about the special. And Jamie Foxx is a naturally funny person, so he can make a lot. So I shouldn't say where was the funny, where was the joke, whatever. If you don't do, this is something that people might not know about, like stand-up. It's probably why y'all will never see Eddie Murphy do stand-up again. When you stop, it ain't like riding a bike. It ain't like riding a bike, y'all. You don't just get back on and pedal and it goes. No, you can get very rusty. Especially if the foundation of your stand-up wasn't even really to write jokes like that, Here's what was very reasonable about Jamie Foxx's special is everybody was waiting to hear, like, what happened to you? And yeah, some people being nosy, some people got their conspiracy theories. If you're anything like me, I think Jamie Foxx is such a special talent. When I heard that he had been rushed to the hospital when he was having a medical emergency, I did not take it lightly. My heart literally, I was broken. I did not want to see Jamie Foxx go because most things that Jamie Foxx has put out in the world of entertainment, I have loved. From him being on In Living Color to the Jamie Foxx show to him playing Ray to him playing Dundee and Ali. From if you just see his viral clips, him doing imitations, et cetera, him talking about Mike Tyson, he's just a joy to. I actually interviewed Jamie Foxx backstage the BET Awards one year. I interviewed Jamie Foxx, and incredible. Undeniably incredible. Before this special came out, this is that I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. Okay, I'm all over the place, you guys, forgive me. It was very reasonable for him to allow the public some in on what happened to him, because he could have still continued with his career like it ain't none of your business. I don't care if you think I was a clone. I don't care if you think I was dead for a couple. I don't care what you think. I don't have to explain anything to you. It ain't none of your business. I think so it was very reasonable for him to share with us something very private and personal and life-threatening and scary for him, and to be so open emotionally on stage and give it to the public, right? It's also reasonable, in my opinion, to profit off of it too. You know, like he could be like, he could be like a lot of people and just go right to, the front facing camera and be like, yeah, so this is what happened and da 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 da. And I know Cat Williams is saying this and I know people saying this, but this is what really happened, y'all. I had this and I had that. Y'all see, I'm not spoiling it for y'all. So y'all can see it for yourself if you want to. I think it's really smart to be like, oh, okay, everybody want to know this. Well, Netflix, how much y'all willing to pay for this? Right? Because after all, I do have medical bills to cover. What's unreasonable is all of the conversation and all of the rumors talking about, oh, I was at Jamie Foxx special taping in Atlanta and he talked about Diddy took him out. He talked about Diddy put something in his drink. He talked about Diddy gave him something and he ain't been Oh! I'm trying not to say hate a lot. I'm trying not to remove that word from my vocabulary, but so unreasonable. That ain't in the special. Sorry if I spoiled it. Diddy did nothing to Jamie Foxx. If he did, it ain't in the special. Yeah, Jamie Foxx got a couple of jokes because clearly jokes. He mentions whatever. We have to stop. I even have people who are close to me, really. You read stuff online or you watch stuff online and it's like this is somebody just trying to get the clicks. But it's like people, real life people close to me, like, yeah, so and so was at the they was there in Atlanta at the taping and they said, yeah. So y'all just lying in real life? Y'all are just lying in real life to real people, like face it. I get it. I mean, I don't get it because that's never going to be my brand. Y'all hear me? Never. I get y'all picking up this camera like, you know what? I need validation and I'm going to get it by way of the World Wide Web. I'm going to get it by way of social media. And so I'm going to lie dead to my camera. But y'all lying to real eyes in front of you? That's unreasonable. That's y'all. What had happened was y'all told a bold-faced lie because Jamie Foxx. Now, okay, here's what I'll give you. Here's what I'll give you because y'all know I come with grace. I come with objectivity. I come with understanding. I come with a mind open to possibility. He might have said more. I recognize that not everything that happens in the room makes it past the editor and out to the public on the streaming platforms. He may have said something more in the room. But the way that I feel like some people that exist in the world were so ready to jump on, yeah, well, you know, Jamie died because of Diddy. Speaking of Diddy, Jay-Z is named in the Diddy lawsuit. I guess I should say that with a little bit more oomph, right? Oh my God! Becky, look at her. Jay-Z was named in the Diddy lawsuit. If you don't know who Jay-Z is, he's married to Beyonce. If you don't know who Beyonce is, she is Blue Ivy's mother. If you don't know who Blue Ivy is, she is Solange's niece. Okay, so Jay-Z was recently named in a civil lawsuit. That is important. A civil lawsuit that alleges that both him and Diddy and some other unnamed female allegedly raped a 13-year-old victim, a female victim. It's like rape is already a hard thing to swallow. It's a hard word to say. But it's worse when you add like the underage. It's just like, oh my God, I got to talk about rape and I got to talk about alleged rapes and I got to talk about the victim being a child. Yo, if you are doing this, you got to go. If you are out here raping, whoever you are, if you are out here raping, you got to go. If you are raping children, you got to go expeditiously. T.I., get him out of here. That ain't even T.I. Really, that's Joe Clark. Get him out of here, Morgan Freeman. Get them up out of here. But here's the thing. If you are a person that is lying about that, if you are a person that is lying about that happening to you or someone else, you got to go too. You gotta go. And here's the thing, and I'm not taking any side. I don't know. It's a lot of Beyonce fans saying, please don't let it be true. Not even because there's some loyalty or alliance to Jay-Z, but here's the thing. He's so connected to our girl, we can't have nothing tarnishing what she doing. People are like, well, if it's not true, and I've said this many times on podcasts, on this very show, I have said that I do believe that there has to be some sort of consequence for the people that lie, for the people that put out these false claims, and there actually is. Now, there actually is criminally. There ain't really nothing for you there civilly, because usually people going after people with money. If the person with money decides to go after them, what they got? Civilly, what they got? Either way, it's awful. So let's get into it. So we know that there have been accusations for months against Diddy. Sean Combs, P. Diddy, he is currently in jail awaiting trial. But there have been rumors. He's in jail for criminal accusations. But there have been rumors also for a while since Diddy has gone down he's really in limbo at this point, right? But there have been rumors that have attached Jay-Z, saying that Jay-Z has also been involved in the past few days. Jay-Z was Sean Carter. It's a lot of Sean's in rap. Anyway, Sean Carter, he was named in a civil suit. And I think it's important, as I said a few moments ago, I think it's important to remind people that Diddy is in jail facing criminal charges, and Jay-Z's accusations so far are civil. Now, that may be because this is just a shakedown. That may be because this is just an attempt to sully his reputation. Or it could just be because the statute of limitation on criminal charges is up. And the only justice that the victim can get is a monetary justice. Whatever it is, I don't know. That's the thing about waiting. Like, I don't, these things are still unfolding, right? They're still unfolding. I, of course, hope that it's not the case, because it's just so disappointing. And I just hope it's not the case. But I have no dog in the fight. You know, I feel like I've said that often as well on this show. But I hope it's not the case. But I don't know. And it's just, we're just getting information. And so, I do think that Jay-Z is getting, at least like right now, it's only been a few days, maybe a perceived certain amount of grace. Because, you know, he is married to our girl. But also remember, Diddy got a little bit of grace too. Diddy got a little bit of grace until he came out and was like, I ain't do it. And then the next day we saw the video and we was like, oh, so you got on that front facing camera and lied by way of the World Wide Web and social media. But okay. All right. So now we just gotta wait. We can't trust nothing you say. Cause you got on that front facing camera and was like, she lying. And then we was like, oh my God. Heinous. Both Sean Diddy Combs and Jay-Z are accused in a civil lawsuit of raping a 13-year-old girl at an after party for the 2000 MTV Video Music Awards. And prior to the alleged incident, the victim claimed that Combs uttered chilling words that have stuck with her to this day. In an amended civil complaint obtained by People, the publication People magazine, a woman identified only as a Jane Doe, so they're keeping her identity anonymous. Jane Doe alleges that she was raped by Combs, who is now 55 years old, and Jay-Z, who is also 55, while an unnamed female celebrity watched during the party in a New York City residence. The initial complaint did not reference Jay-Z by name, and it was filed in October. According to the complaint, the accuser was invited. So the at the time 13-year-old girl was invited to the after party by a limousine driver who claimed to work for Combs and told her that the mogul liked younger girls, and she fit what he was looking for. This is so confusing to me because this sounds like statutory rape. Not that that's any better, but it's because if you're saying that the limo driver told you, like, oh, you're 13, he likes him 13, so come with me. Name the limo driver too, since we naming people, right? Prior to this, she claimed. The alleged victim claimed that she had been trying to get into the VMAs. This is so hard for me because I just be thinking where I was when I was 13 years old. And I was doing a couple of things that I wasn't supposed to be doing. Definitely. I was kissing a boy in the staircase in between third and fourth period. I was, instead of, practice was over at like 5 p.m. and I was supposed to be home by 5:30, but I got home at like 6:30 because I let I let my boyfriend walk me home from school, and we stayed downstairs and talked for a little while longer. But I definitely wasn't 13 years old traveling downtown to wherever to get into the Video Music Awards by myself, and then on it, like, and I'm not at all blaming the victim. I'm just saying so much is wrong in this story before we even get to the heinous part of it. She was standing outside a Radio City Music Hall, and the limousine driver pulled up and was like, how old are you? 13? Yeah, you fit the description for who this grown-ass man likes. Come with me. The plaintiff, who was 13 years old at the time of the alleged incident, said that she arrived at the after party and then she was asked to sign a non-disclosure. Who tells a 13-year-old to sign a non-disclosure? A 13-year-old signature don't mean shit. If you've ever signed any contract ever in life, it says if you are under 18, you know you need a guardian. You know you need a parent or a guardian, somebody that is above 18 to sign for you. So even in print, it ain't even making sense. And I'm not saying that it ain't making sense don't mean it didn't happen. I'm just saying even if I was tasked with doing the wrong thing, even if I was the limousine driver or the person at the after party making people fill out NDAs, and I was like, ooh, 13-year-olds, that's exactly who he likes, sign this. I got to know, because I ain't no idiot, that a 13-year-old signing their signature to anything besides a book report is null and void. Whatever. The plaintiff says she was approached by Combs, who had a crazed look in his eyes and who allegedly told her, "You ready for the party?" According to the complaint, the accuser further alleged that Combs threw her towards the wall, causing her to fall. This is all about Diddy. Then the complaint alleges that subsequently Jay-Z removed the accuser's clothes and held her down as he raped her while both Combs and the female celebrity watched, according to the complaint. I'm a person that when I read things, images come in my mind. And it's hard to read this because I am imagining a young girl. And, you know, what we imagine is typically what already exists in our mind. So that means I have to imagine a young girl that I already know. Or I have to imagine it's terrible. And then I got to imagine Jay-Z and then you trying to think, who is that? Here's the thing that sucks about that. When you think about Jay-Z and any woman around him, who's the first person you think of? You think of Beyonce. And so this is where my imagination, it's just terrible. It's just terrible. Okay, so Jay-Z released a statement responding to this immediately. He released a statement via Rock Nation's Twitter page. And it says, it's long, but I'm going to read it. My lawyer received a blackmail attempt called a demand letter from a quote unquote lawyer. So, you know, he's calling into question even Tony Busby's, the lawyer's legitimacy. A quote unquote lawyer named Tony Busby. It is a cartoonish name. What he calculated was the nature of these allegations and the public security would be. What he had calculated was the nature of these allegations and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle. No, sir. It had the opposite effect. It made me want to expose you for the fraud that you are in a, all caps, very public fashion. So no, I will not give you, in all caps, one red penny. These allegations are so heinous. You know, I just thought, like, it's some people that's a certain age, 13-year-olds may not even know what a penny look like, right? Like 13-year-olds today may not even know what a penny look like, because who's using pennies? You ever been to a store? You know how they say take a penny, leave a penny? I haven't seen one of those in a very long time. Have you guys? These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint. Now, here's the thing. Calm down, Jay-Z, because it's in 2020. Now, we all know in most places, New York, I believe this is true, the statute of limitation on rape, on statutory rape, on any sort of sexual, the statute of limitations is not 24 years. So the alleged complaint is from 2020, and we're in 2024 heading into 2025. So, you know what I'm saying? Let's not get lost in let's not get lost in what we know ain't even possible, right? I don't know why, and again, this is not me looking at Jay-Z with the side eye. This is not me propping up the alleged victim. This ain't none of that. This is just me. Let me tell you, if somebody ever says Zainab raped me, Zainab M, my middle initial is M, Johnson raped me, let me tell you first thing I'm gonna say, I ain't raped nobody. Jane Doe, John Doe, 13, 35. Let me tell y'all first and foremost, I ain't rape no one. Now I could disparage. I could talk about the attorney. I could talk about all of this other stuff. I could say, no, sir, yes, sir, that you ain't about to extort me. But let me say first and foremost, what I know and what I'll stand on and what I'll die on. I ain't raped nobody. Let me say that first. So I always be surprised when people don't be like, I ain't raped nobody. Even, guys be like, well, rape, the definition of rape has changed since I was a kid. All right. Unless rape me, I had a latte I drank a latte in my hotel room by myself. Zainab ain't rape nobody. So the fact that they don't be starting with that, I'm always like, why not? Anywho, the allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked up. True. Would you not agree? No, we definitely agree with you, Jay-Z. We definitely agree. These alleged victims would deserve real justice if that were the case. He's starting to write in the statement like, what's that poem? Like, because my skin is red, am I not? What's the whatever? He's starting to sound like Nikki Giovanni. You starting to write it in but he is a rapper. Okay, I digress. This lawyer, you talk about Tony Busby, who I have done a bit of research on. Okay, what you was Googling or you went to the library? I'm being a comedian. Seems to have a pattern of these theatrics. I have no idea how you come to be such a deplorable human, Mr. Busby. But I promise you, I have seen your kind many times over. Because Jay-Z got a lot of money. So people be like, yeah, we got to get it. Remember I told y'all, whatever. I'm more than prepared to deal with your type. You claim to be now that sounds like he about to do a rap, right? You claim to be oh no, that's Tupac. Okay. You claim to be a Marine? You claim to be a Marine? This is because he had a question mark and an exclamation point. You claim to be a Marine? Marines are known for their valor. You have neither honor nor dignity. My only heartbreak is for my family. Now this I could get with. My only heartbreak is for my family. I felt like this part is a very, I like this part. I'll tell you the specific sentence I like. My only heartbreak is for my family, my wife, and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people. I like the acknowledgement of like, yeah, I do have a kid that is of the age that is going to have to deal with this. But now here's the thing. If you did anything in your life, Jay-Z, if you did anything in your life that leads to this point, then you can't blame what your child will have to deal with on anybody else. Again, I'm not saying whether this is true or not. I'm just saying, only what you've done in this life, But what I know is I ain't raped nobody. I mourn yet another loss of innocence. This sounds like the 444 album, right? I mourn yet another loss of innocence. Children should not have to endure such at their young age. It is unfair to have to try to understand inexplicable degrees of malice meant to destroy families and human spirit. So I get what he's saying. He ain't even saying that he has to explain to his children like what sexual assault is. He has to explain, like he might have to just explaining this whole thing, but he has to explain to his children like that people will throw around the most heinous accusations in an attempt to extort you. And the reason for that is because, people will go low. They'll go low to the flow. My heart and support goes out to true victims in the world who have to watch how their life story is dressed in costume for profitability by the ambulance chaser in a cheap suit. Now, here's the thing. Jay-Z's a really good rapper. Jay-Z know how to put them words together. Let me say that one more time. My heart and support goes out, which this is true. This is somebody got to put this on a t. This is like something that like people should be reading to the press all the time when they're talking about like this is something. Okay, so all the people who allege that they are SA victims and they just lying. Now, I don't know who that is, but for the people who are, and it is clearly proven that they are liars and they just out here trying to get a check, they should have to. Remember Bart Simpson had to write over and over and over. Remember in school when we was younger, we used to have to write the same thing, something you did wrong on a chalkboard over and over and over again. I will not say a swear word. I will not say a swear word. I will not say a swear word. I feel like those people who've been lying, they got to write this over and over like 10 million. However much they asked for $10 million. They got to write it 10 million times. They asked for $10,000. They got to write it 10,000 times. My heart and support goes out to the true victims in the world who have to watch how their life story is dressed in costume for profitability by this ambulance chaser in a cheap suit. Polyester. Sorry if y'all like polyester. That's my own personal preference. You have made a terrible error in judgment thinking that all quote unquote celebrities are the same. I'm not from your world. I'm a young man who made it out of the project of Brooklyn. We don't play these types of games. We have very strict codes and honor. We protect children. You seem to exploit people for personal gain. Only your network of conspiracy theorists, fake physics will believe the idiotic claims you have levied against me that if not for the seriousness surrounding harm to kids would be laughable. I look forward to showing you just how different I am. Tony Busby responded and said that, first of all, he put a picture of himself in his Marine uniform. Like, you putting it in quotes, but I definitely served. So I don't know what you talking about, valor, honor, and all of that, but here's my uniform. Boop, boop, boop. Which... whatever. I ain't trying to be unpatriotic or anything. I have my brothers and my father were in the armed forces. My family is a Navy family. But yeah, it's like, here's the thing. How you dress is not your character. It's not the person you are. People dress up in nurse uniforms all day and they terrible. You know what I'm saying? People dress up in doctor uniforms. They dress up in the uniforms that appear as if they're supposed to be saving you, doing good, bringing good into this world. And they the worst ones, you know? And it's people who are in the uniforms of poor, desolate, run. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you guys have ever had this situation at least once in my, like, I've had this happen a few times where a person on the street stops you and they might look so dirty or so unkempt and so, you know what I'm saying? They might smell of alcohol. They might, you know, whatever. And then they, you know, and then they say the most beautiful thing to you. I don't know if you've heard this today, but you matter. I was in Portland. I got to Portland yesterday. I was riding a bike to get some food. And this guy came up to me. He didn't look like desolate or anything, but he just looked like an average person. And he said, I'm not sure if anybody told you this today, but you are loved and you are needed. And I said, nobody told me that today. Thank you so much, sir. As I dropped my glove on the ground. Now, when I got back up, I checked my pocket to make sure he ain't checked my wallet. But don't pay me no mind, you guys. So not only did Tony Busby post his Marine picture, but he also said that he didn't want to name Jay-Z. He said that they did send a invitation to not negotiate. That's not what it is. For them to meet, I forget what it's called. But when they didn't hear back or when they declined, when Jay-Z's lawyers declined, the alleged victim, Jane Doe, was like, okay, I'm tired of this. Put his name out there. So he's saying, don't come at me. I'm just doing what my client wants me to do. That's what Tony Busby is saying. And now in the latest, as I'm recording this information, is that Jay-Z is asking for his accuser to be public. for that person to be named. And he says that Mr. Carter, it was filed in a new court filing obtained by People magazine. Jay-Z's lawyer, Alex Spiro, asked the federal court in New York to dismiss the case completely and have the accuser's name made to the public. Mr. Carter deserves to know the identity of the person who is effectively accusing him. How do I feel about that? I think that definitely happens in criminal. I think that if it's thrown out, if it's dismissed because of a lack of evidence, then I think that she should be named. Dang, it's so hard because you know what's going to happen when she's named. She's going to get, I don't even know if I know Jay-Z got a real fan base, obviously, but I know that Beehive, they're going to be buzzing. It's just like, you know what's going to happen. You know the result of putting her name out there. And that is a recipe for disaster in her life. But here's the thing. If she's lying, then I'm so torn, you guys. I'm not torn. It's just that I keep stopping mid-sentence because it's so hard for me, because I just be thinking, like, who would just wake up one day and be like, I'm going to tell his whole life? That's like insanity to me that I can't quite comprehend. We got to wait for more information to unfold. Lastly, before this, the last main story, Luigi Mangione. Am I saying his name right? Mangione. Luigi Mangione is the person of interest. So was it last week or the week before? The CEO of why am I drawing a blank? The CEO of United Healthcare was murdered outside of a hotel. He was on his way to a board meeting, I believe, and he was murdered, and this was caught on camera. And they've been looking for the past week for the person, and they just arrested in Pennsylvania Luigi Mangione. And so I'm just giving y'all the story. This is nothing unreasonable or reasonable about that, right? Some information, obviously more information is coming out about Luigi Mangione. It's like, I think people thought that this was like a really, really expertly planned thing, and as it's unfolding, it's seeming like it wasn't so. Like, they were like, oh, this person was like military, this person was so skilled, this person was da-da-da. They had it all planned out, and now it's looking like, oh, this might just be like a young guy who I don't know. The information is not there. They say that he yelled out. What did they say that he yelled out? That he raged about an insult to the American people. That Luigi Mangione yelled at reporters outside of Pennsylvania courthouse before. I'm getting this from CNBC. Hearing on his possible extradition to New York to face murder charges in the killing of the United Healthcare CEO, Brian Thompson. He yelled out, "It's completely out of touch." I'm quoting him. "It's completely out of touch and an insult to the American people and their lived experience," Mangione shouted as he was led from a police car into Blair County court in Hollidaysburg. He graduated from the University of Pennsylvania, and he is now accused of fatally shooting Thompson outside of the Hilton Hotel in Midtown Manhattan as the CEO was headed to an investor meeting for his parent company. I'm gonna be very honest with y'all, and y'all tell me if I'm unreasonable for this. Of course, I'm gonna wait for it to unfold. But before they even arrested somebody, all I saw, I know I mentioned it last week, just being funny about something having nothing to do with this. having to do with Biden, right? Having to do with Biden and him pardoning Hunter. John Q. That's all I was thinking about, was all the movies that I have seen where people be fed up. People be fed up, and there's all of these stories coming to light about United Healthcare just being a shitty company. Being a shitty company. Yo, first of all, it is no secret that the healthcare system in the United States is horrific. It's a business that don't give a shit about the American people. It's all about the money that you have, and the money that you have don't even guarantee you the superb healthcare, because as we've heard from the Serena Williams of the world, from, you know what I'm saying, that all the money in the world still don't change the color of your skin. And you got to be in that hospital being treated poorly. And people are fed up. Apparently, the moment Luigi Mangione became public, he got 200,000 more Twitter subscribers, Twitter followers. I'm looking at his pictures. He's a young, good-looking kid, so they gonna like him. If they was liking, what's them brothers? If they be liking all the other serial killers, you know what I'm saying, who be crazy unattractive, they gonna like this boy. Not that he's not a serial killer. Forgive me, but I mean, not that we know of. Who even knows if he's the actual person who killed the CEO? But I don't believe in like vigilante justice. Although I know sometimes it does. It can, like, we're human. We're human, and sometimes we can feel so mistreated and so, forgive me for using this word, but raped by the system, so unjustly treated by the system, that sometimes there is a moment where we can feel like justice was served, even if it is vigilante. I understand that. I totally understand that. But that's not the way. That's not the way, because that's leaving it in every individual's hand to just decide that they can take the life of somebody, But on the other hand, people are like, oh, but the CEO to kill somebody just because of their job. Hold up a second. They not on fries at McDonald's. The CEO is making the decisions. The CEO is making the decisions. They saying yes and or no on every single thing that comes across. So it ain't just any old position. But this is a story that I am really curious about, because it don't seem as simple as like, oh, it feels really personal. It feels really personal. I don't know how personal it goes. And they saying that his cousin is like a government person in Maryland, I think. And he comes from like a affluent family. And okay, so maybe it's his girlfriend. Maybe it's his, I don't know. But this is not, what I'm saying is not fact. I want to make that very clear. This is just this is my intuition telling me that this is personal. And so what do you guys feel? What are your predictions as we watch this unfold? Put them in the comments, please. All right, before we get out of here, let's get into an Ask Z. We got to Ask Z for you guys. This came a little after, I think this came after I told the story about me going to the steakhouse with my brother in Switzerland. So it says this came from, she put this in the comments, so we don't have to keep her anonymous. This came from @AngelaMatthew3911. She says, Zainab, I completely agree with you about the friends and showing up for birthdays. I was just about to send you an Ask Z. My Ask Z is, my birthday is tomorrow. Happy belated birthday, girl. My birthday is tomorrow, and my husband was inviting people to my birthday dinner. He asked where I wanted to go, and he knows I'm a big seafood lover. So I said, anywhere there is good seafood. He stated, babe, You know, people may not be able to afford places that we like to go for seafood, and it's so close to Thanksgiving. I then reply, it's my birthday. Just invite them, send them a link of where we are going, and they can decide. He said, I'm being a little selfish. What if he said, I'm being a little shellfish? Okay. I'm being a little selfish, and would I consider going to the less expensive restaurant for my birthday? Like what? Like Red Lobster? Like what? What's the less expensive restaurant? She ain't write that. I'm putting that in. Less expensive restaurant for my birthday, and he will take me to the actual seafood restaurant the following day. Am I being unreasonable for not wanting to do the second option? Thanks a bunch, Angela. Okay, is Angela being unreasonable for not wanting to go to the seafood place that she likes on the second day? This is like an interesting one. Yes and no. I do believe that it is your birthday, right? And I'm one of them people that feels like the birthday person should have the birthday that they want, right? But if part of what you want for your birthday is for your friends to be there, and your husband is like, hey babe, because here's the thing, your husband knows your friends. You guys know your friends. You know your friends. So he probably knows something that we don't know. He probably knows that, hey babe, remember we was just loaning Carol $500 2 weeks ago. Remember, babe? Remember so and so? Remember Johnny? Like, maybe your husband knows this also. He knows that Thanksgiving is right around the corner, and people, spend a lot of money to host Thanksgiving, cook for Thanksgiving, and then right after that, if you celebrate like Christmas and things like that, So I think your husband is considering something about your circle of friends that we are not privy to, right? And so if you do want to spend the birthday with your friends, then I think that it is, I think that it's unreasonable for you to not consider, like, okay, this is a place where most people would come, right? But you said, and your husband was like, I'm not trying to say we have dinner with them at Red Lobster and that's it. That's the only birthday celebration you get. Tomorrow, I'm going to take you to Crustacean. I'm going to take you to, I don't know, fill in the blank, whatever seafood place you like. They got really good seafood. I ain't a seafood person, so I don't know. Crustacean is in LA. But he gave you that option, right? Now, I think that there is another option. Well, how about on my birthday, I go to the seafood place that I want, just you and I. And that way I have my seafood fix. And then the next day, I have the birthday celebration with my friends at the, not so good seafood place, because then I already had a taste of seafood. So I ain't going to really be worrying about what the Red Lobster tasting like. You know what I'm saying? I'm being funny about the Red Lobster. But I think that, so yes, the reason why I say yes and no is because, I think your husband gave you a really mindful option with a solution, but also you said very clearly you don't care. You said give them the option. Give them the option to meet me where I'm at. I'm at the Gucci store seafood. Come and get these double G's. If you can't, if you need to go to the Nordstrom Rack of seafood, if you need to go to the Old Navy of seafood, well then I guess we will not see each other on this day of my birth. I'm fine with that, girl. You enjoy that Old Navy seafood. I'm going to be over here at the Gucci seafood. I think that it's your party and you cry if you want to, So like, I don't know if I've answered your question, but I do feel like if after what your husband said, you were like, no, I don't care. It is a little bit unreasonable because I feel like he's giving you best of both worlds. But if you're a person that's like, no, I'm a person that likes to celebrate on my actual birthday and I want to do what I want to do. And you feel like you put it out there, like I'm going to be at the Gucci Seafood and nobody shows up and you okay with that? And your husband just looking at you like trying not to say, I told you. I mean, girl, I told you. So it's just, I know we made a reservation for 14, but it's just going to be me and you at the Gucci Seafood. If you okay with that, then no, you ain't unreasonable at all. I don't know if I've helped. All right, you guys, this is it for I'm Reasonable. This week's episode of I'm Reasonable. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week and try your best to stay reasonable. Bye.